And the other big story here in the U.S. is the upcoming military parade set for tomorrow, the 250th birthday of the U.S. Army through the streets of downtown D.C. A lot of controversy covering that. Also, President Trump's 79th birthday. We're learning how much it's going to cost, nearly $54 million perhaps, to the U.S. citizens and Washington, D.C. taxpayers. They're also expecting protests around the country called No Kings protest, where they are saying they don't want the military parade. They don't want the Kings. Sorry, they do not want the military parade in the U.S., and they are protesting what's happening around the country. All right, we've got a reporter, Katia Tubman, for us now to tell us the latest about the preparations being made for this parade and the protests around the country. What can you tell us, Katia?
Well, Holly, there's a lot going on right now, a lot of preparation for what is expected to be a very major event happening here in D.C. tomorrow. And while the streets are cleared and fences are up even by Pennsylvania Avenue, where we are now, there are still people who are walking the streets, scoping out the area ahead of time, trying to figure out where they'll be. But there are also people who just want to know what's happening. We got a chance to speak to some folks here on the street, just asking them about their reactions to the military parade, the 250th birthday of the Army. And even one vet spoke to us saying his feelings about the parade that's happening tomorrow. And here's what he had to say.
I was in the military, and our troops need to be recognized and they need to be honored because they sacrifice so much for this country, and they don't get the recognition that they deserve. No matter what your party is, always support your country.
Now, we spoke to Paul, who is an Army vet who is also from Houston, Texas, and he told us that he lives here with his part-in-time with his family and sometimes in Texas, but he really was not going to be attending the parade, though he does support the Army and the U.S. military. He said, along with his family, that they consider it to be a waste of money. But other folks we spoke to who also had family members or have family members who have served or are serving in the U.S. military, they reacted in saying that this is a perfect time to celebrate the U.S. military, to show its might, especially on a global stage, but not tying it specifically to President Trump's birthday. A lot of folks made a point of saying that they are not here necessarily to celebrate the president and his birthday, but here specifically to celebrate the U.S. Army. And as we've seen leading up to this event, there has been a lot of controversy and clashing over the purpose of this military parade, with one side saying it is to celebrate the Army and its birthday, as well as the other side saying that it could be a show of authoritarianism, hence the No Kings King's Day parade protest that will be happening at the same time as the parade tomorrow. So a lot of mixed reactions here happening on the street. But what we can tell you is that even on a hot, humid day like today, with many streets cleared and a lot of traffic coming in, there's a lot of excitement for what's going to be happening tomorrow.
And Katie, we know that they may get inclement weather tomorrow. It may rain. So is there a plan if they do get bad weather? Will the parade still happen?
That is what we're hearing right now. We are hearing to stand by on information about what will happen in the event that there is rain, as we are expecting right now. But right now, what we're hearing from especially the commission and the group that is putting on the parade is that there has not been any change to the plans as going forward with tomorrow. But we will obviously be paying attention and staying updated on any other plans that people may want to consider as they are heading into the parade. That we want to point out that there is at least 200,000 people expected to be attending this event tomorrow, and so we would obviously be keeping everyone updated as to what will be the plan if the weather does impact the parade.
All right, Katia Tubman reporting live for us in Washington, D.C. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And as Katia mentioned, there are protests planned for around the country tomorrow. Stephanie Liebergen live in Philadelphia for us, where one of the largest protests is planned. Hi, Stephanie.
Hey, Holly. Good afternoon. Well, I am here in downtown Philadelphia in Love Park, where less than 24 hours away from now, this park is expected to be filled with tens of thousands of people gathering to march and rally and listen to speeches at the No Kings protest. Now, where I am right now, Love Park, that's where people are expected to gather. And then they're going to march about a mile behind me, right over my shoulder, to the steps of the Art Museum, those iconic rocky steps that you see a lot when people are talking about iconic spots in Philadelphia. So This flagship march for the No Kings group is one of nearly 2,000 events that's scheduled across the country tomorrow. But one city where they are not scheduling a big protest is in Washington, D.C. They don't want to be directly competing with that military parade that's happening tomorrow evening in D.C. But there is also a bit of a message and a reasoning in why they are not going to be in D.C. I spoke with one of the Philadelphia-based organizers earlier today, and she explained exactly why they're not going to be in the nation's capital. Take a listen.
We wanted to come together outside of Washington because we wanted to show that around the country the people are rising up and we are showing up and we are going to be out in public. And because power is not centered there, power is around the country with the people.
Now, these rallies and these marches is to work against what these groups see as power grabs by the Trump administration, saying that he is positioning himself as a king and that that is not what this country is about, and then showing that that power is outside of Washington, D.C., and as you just heard, with the Americans all across the country. Now, part of what this group is coming out against is some of the immigration actions by the Trump administration, and they've seen some of the immigration protests, especially those in the Los Angeles area, get violent and get out of control. And they are taking a lot of steps to make sure that the protests tomorrow, both here in Philadelphia and across the country, are peaceful. They have been holding online training sessions for hosts, for rally and march marshals, to make sure that they are trained in de-escalation and that they are doing everything that they can possibly do to try to make sure that their rallies tomorrow stay peaceful, because they do not want it to turn into any sort of violence. They want to be peacefully delivering that message to the Trump administration. Holly.
Stephanie Liebergen live for us from Philadelphia. Thank you so much for that reporting.